So, Din Levishas Begadim Abayvav Sifim, Simon Beis, page Hey. Midas Hatzniya Shibach HaKosav Mekaymis Rabbis. There are many places that the Torah praises the concept of modesty. V'chachamim tzivu ba'al chol adam. Chachamim commanded every person, Riyas Sanua, v'chol erchosav, should in all his ways be modest. V'loi v'hisnayig v'pritzus. And he should not behave in an immodest manner. I feel even when he's not amongst other people. Even when he's by himself. When she's Barba Chasiyas, like we explained in the halachas of Hilchos. I feel even when someone's alone at night. And he's in a room all by himself, Sarech Linoik, it's Sius. Ubusha, Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem Eloi, Kol Aretz K'vaydei, V'kechashecha Ka'ira. For him, it's always light. The fun of Yisbarech, V'lechein V'galas V'sarei, should not reveal your flesh. V'filo mat even a little bit, Kol Mashadarkilis Mechus V'gadim Lo'olam. Any part which is always usually covered. Even when you're laying in your bed at night sleeping, you cover yourself with a sheet. Even when you go to the bathroom, only how much you need. I'm going to explain the next siman, not to reveal more than you have to. When someone takes off one's clothing to sleep naked, which is very common those days, you should, as you're undressing, cover yourself. Cover yourself with a sheet underneath, over the area that you're about to take off your clothing. Being shaftan makim zeh makim zeh kvar makusa besadim. Lo yimagula fi map so shalei tzarech afilo rega achas. V'chein misheni yashan arum. Someone who doesn't, he has pajamas. He wears his clothing. Rakshapoishita and poloi so takes off his socks. Oh, not. He has a raglav tchila. The sudden. Yashitana tachas asodin. I think they say that some of these things changed today. It's not the minig anymore. Because people b'chlal also take the socks of b'chlal in their house. So it's not considered that it's always a makim mechusa. Something which is a makim mechusa. The morning we're going to get up. So they were totally undressed under the blanket. You shouldn't pull off the blankets like the way, you should only take off what you need and get dressed. Put on your shirt, then put on your pants, and take everything off. And then take off the sheet. V'chein, in the parentheses, Alter brings in, V'chein b'ampaloi shalanu, because all of our sacks, like we said in the previous parentheses, Yilbasham ma'at ma'at the sudden, put them on underneath the sheet. Because in these countries, they're always right. No one ever goes out barefoot. I feel of a kite even in the summer. Same thing during the daytime if you change your clothing. Unless it's in the bathhouse, that the derech of people is to go there, walk around naked. You have to be an acher. Ve'im is of shum plitzes. That's not plitzes. V'chein shaleich is benar. Rak sheyesh lifship lilbish samach lamakom efshar. Get undressed as close as you can to the nahar. V'dei shaleilach begilei hakol. You should not go with the guf revealed shaleilat tzayich. Afil arvasei page vav ein tzal chasei spidas inar. Even your erva, your private parts, you don't need to cover when you're going down to the river to wash yourself in the river.
Like a mikveh.
Correct. But then they would not only use it as a mikveh, they would actually bathe themselves.
Right.
The river was a place that you can go and wash yourself up.
Oh.
Bring with yourself a little soap, bar, and you go into the river.
Burn up the heck so.
They didn't have the pollution then. No, they had soap. Chazal talk about soap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Picking up a bar of soap.
They don't have a shower house. They go to
When you're going to the river to bathe yourself on the way to the river.
You don't have to cover yourself?
No.
What if you're walking through places where people are?
No. When you're going down to the river.
The people.
You know, there's a mikveh in Great Neck, Sfardi, where the rabbi makes you cover yourself. As soon as you come out of the mikveh, you have to put a towel on. You can't walk naked in the mikveh.
Okay, maybe he realizes in his community that that's an issue. And what's the reason why you shouldn't cover yourself? Seems like you're embarrassed of your bris. When you get up from the river, you're coming out, and people are now going to see you. Yashche, bend over, or yasim yadi keneged avasi, put your hand in front of the chasoisa. Vachvigaba, you shouldn't touch your bris. Cheng shereichitz, memerchitz, and the adam be efsher, as well as if you have other people in the bathhouse are bathing with you. Taka should when you come out of the bathhouse, should be careful. He's right. I mean, the rabbi in the 5 towns, he's going to taina im efshel chasois meinayim bebegem matoif. Someone told me, in the early years, the Rebbe would go to the mikveh. We use the mikveh that everyone used. But when the Rebbe came, everyone dashed out of that mikveh. The Rebbe's coming, give the Rebbe his privacy. But someone told me that he was in the shower when, they said the Rebbe's there. It was coming in. He closed the shower door and he just stayed in the shower, and he'll stay there, he thought, until the Rebbe finishes using the mikveh. He said that the Rebbe, before he left, he was finished, he gave a knock on the shower door. He told him, you can leave now, You have to stay stuck in there. So later on, the Rebbe went to they used he used the women's mikveh during when he needed to go to the mikveh during the daytime. So he was able to go when no one was crying. Now, Toiv lizoyer ledaktik b'chalukai. Chayotz b'loisha kedakei sub gimel shel hafich hapnimi lachutz. You should be careful when you wear your shirt. Don't wear it inside out. People will see the stitches. Doesn't look nice, the inside of the shirt. People look at you and will not respect you. It's not, a person is supposed to it's not a mitzvah for people not to like you. It's supposed to be noyach al abrius. if someone wasn't careful and he wore it upside down, im Talmid Chacham or tzarich l'payishti v'lasa lo shegedak shi b'chlam mesni chas v'shalom. People will hate Talmidei Chachamim. So you have to right away, if you're Talmid Chacham, you have to right away change it because people say, "Oh, look, what Talmid Chacham dresses."
Back then, it looked very ugly, but today the stitches look good.
I don't know. Seeing the inside of the shirts.
Yeah, the stitches are nice. Back then, the stitches were probably very ugly.
Maybe. Yeah, could be things are different. Things, not everything we read here is exactly the same the way it's today. Someone was pointing out to me today, Shulchan Aruch talks about a guest. Like a guest talk. We were talking about halachas of lighting Shabbos candles. The guest is chayiv, not chayiv. So he was told me he thinks that the idea of an oirich, when you read in Chazal, in halacha, it says having an oirich, having a guest. So for us today, having a guest means someone comes to you for a meal, you invite over a guest. He told me, he made me think, he tells me, an oirich, in the Chazal's terminology, meant someone who's staying over, sleeping. The concept of someone coming over to eating a piece of fish and a piece of meat by your house, it's not called a guest. In American terminology, you say, "Oh, I had a guest over." Chazal saying oirich, and oirich meant it was someone who was passing through the town, staying by you because they're an oirich, a guest staying by you. They're staying by you. This is where they're coming to town. They're staying by you. Someone comes over to eat has a house and has a kitchen, just coming over because they want to have a talk with you and shmooth, enjoy some time together. Let's hasten that guest. And by the way, also the concept of Hamas is orchim. The same thing, be'etzim, because someone who the real mitzvah is someone who doesn't have where to go. Someone who be'etzim has where to go. I'm qualifying the mitzvah in Torah. I'm not saying that there's no idea behind a mitzvah of Yisrael and things like that, but I'm just saying the concept of people then, or someone was traveling and coming to town, doesn't have where to stay. Saying if your brother-in-law, no, I'm saying is that if your brother-in-law, you invite your family member, let's come together, make a Shabbos meal.
So he doesn't
come over. You come to me, I go to you, I bring you dessert. This is called like someone who needed a meal. It has a meal. Just you want it to be together. If someone doesn't have a meal, so they need a meal. But if you have a meal, you're someone who always makes meals. No, I'm saying is that I'm just bringing an idea that sometimes we read something today.
The original meaning.
We sometimes assume right away that it means one and the same from what it was back then. But when you think about it, it's not exactly the same kind of idea. When Chazal said Eirich, which will in English translate as guest, it meant someone coming to stay by you, versus someone coming to eat some sushi by you. And I know when we call that had a guest over, but that's not the concept of guest in Chazal. Upon l'chayre. B'derech efshir. Now, Valpi HaKabbalah, the last lines of Gimel, V'yesh lihizar milubesh beis malbushim yachad v'kei shekasha l'shikol. There is an issue of putting on two clothing together. Some people want to save time, so they pull over themselves two pairs of clothing together. There's an Inyan Kabbalah not to do that because it can have an effect and cause you to be forgetful.
Why do they use the term kasha, which means it's difficult to forget? Saginar?
Kasha lishik.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'd say you should say kasha l'zikaron. He's saying, I hear
I
you.
don't know.
Maybe.
I'm very literal.
Think about it. I hear what you're saying.
How do you translate the word Shoshan?
Siv Dalet. Loy lemot yaktam liyimini asma b'chol davar. Yishimini chashuva b'chol ha'teira kula. We find all over the Torah is machshav yimin. Bringing avoida to do avoida in the Beis Hamikdash. Or boyin yad, the boyin regim luyim, when it says the kohenim have to be consecrated during the Shivis Me'aluyim, and you have to do some avoidance with you put on the right, on the toe, and on the foot, it's the right finger, the right toe, the right hand, the right foot. The mitzayra, when it comes to mitzayra, the chalitza, everything is the right. The kachish the adam, kam kein lach they covered. Yamin el oilam, because yamin represents chesed.
So where are we putting the tefillin? In the left hand.
Ah, very good. V'chein geshen yinal min olav yinal shemin tchila. Put on your shoes, put on your right shoe first. Shechayel es chayel shesmel tchila, shechayel shemin. Take off the left first, leave the right on longer. Min olav sheish from kshira yinal shemin b'lo yikshirenu. When shoes that have laces to them, put on your first shoe, do not tie it.
The right.
The right shoe. The achik, shesmel, then put on the smell, b'yikshirenu, and also tie the left. The go back, b'yikshirenu, and tie your right shoe.
What about shoes?
Kshira yesh lachik kabbalah smile. Comes to kshira, you should do first smile. Shechashuva b'tonik kshira tefillin. Torah is machshav. Your left hand, yadcha, yadkeya. That's when you the one you put on tefillin. So we see gabi kshira, shall smile is more chashuv. So therefore, tie your left shoe first. You
What
say
about shoes that don't have laces?
Then right first.
right and left.
First and then the left.
First right and then left.
Zippers on it.
The chayil there's no ina kshira by them. So the chayil you could do it right
No
away.
laces, right first, left, but if it is laces, you tie up the left first.
Zipper the left one first, but my side shouldn't.
The chayil there's no ina doing it that way. You're just rather used to it.
No, I do that because it's much easier to zip it up as you put it on.
I would, right. Okay. I don't know if it's a,
Rabbi, about 30 years ago,
I hear.
in the army, Israeli army,
It's a good question.
a helicopter was crashed. 25 soldiers got killed. One of them was with the group, and he became religious, and he learned this din. And the shoes, they have a lot of to tie, the army shoes. And he forgot, he did first the opposite. So he went to the officer, tell him I have to go back and to tie the whole thing. Again, to take off my shoes and tie. Tell him you have a minute. Went there, he came back, they already went up. And this helicopter crashed, 25 got killed. And he saved because of the shoes.
Why did he have to go back to tie it? Not he couldn't stay there.
Next to the helicopter is too noisy to do, so he has to go to his room.
Wow.
So went to his room, yes. He took it off, both of them. They had to put the right, put the left, tie the right.
Program or something? It's part of Hesder?
Huh?
It's part of Hesder program
Yeah.
or something? My cousin was also supposed to be there or something, and also or people from his unit now.
Yeah.
Can I eat something else?
In this helicopter crash?
Yeah, my father.
What year was this?
That was maybe 30 years ago,
I
35
guess
years
he
ago.
might
A long
be
time
now
ago.
like 50-ish that one, so he's probably either one.
Geen shalevish chalukoi v'shar malbushov. Yilbash yadim in tchila v'chein mechasayim and palois. When it comes to shirt, when it comes to your pants, your socks, rego yim in tchila. Yesh from kshira yikshashal smel tchila. Anything that has to do with tying to the left side. Geen kshareit chet yitzach.
The fence, the bottom of the fence has
A lace.
they tied it.
Shein shereichet isach, yirchetz eyasach yadim in tchila. Washing yourself or smearing yourself, do the right hand first, then your left hand. That's why we pour Negelwasser on the right hand first. Filos Yadayim on the right hand first. Shereichetz koguf emerchetz, yirchetz tchila, reishet tchila b'shu melech akol evarim. So, first you do your right.
I got a question about those two guys.
So you do your head and then your right foot, and then your right hand, and your left hand. Yeah.
You talk about utility down, you do right, left. Talk about that? Not yet.
No. But well, what's your question?
So my question is, why wouldn't it be cleaner or better if you did three and then three? Not, the reason why I'm asking that question is I'm sometimes in public, she'll come out of the shul bathroom and the washing cup, the cart, well, slimy, dirty, everyone touches it, and COVID going around, I don't know, maybe I became a little bit whatever. I'm like, I don't want to go back and forth, and I'm like, you don't even know if you didn't have to, you from the bathroom, do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sometimes, so I started doing, I don't know if it's right or wrong. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then grab napkin, 1, 2, 3. This way I'm not touching the handle, going back and forth.
So we do the right first, but what got me this problem, I would wash your hands with soap afterwards. I mean,
But that's kind of, so that's,
that's what I do. No, it's
if you,
or wash your hand, just wash your hands a second under the stream afterwards.
School of forget your fears is to wash your hands. Make a mistake, make that this thing.
Yeah, so germs, you have to got to be careful. Got to be careful.
a lot of people, I mean, coming out of the bathroom, a lot of people
You
don't.
know, since COVID, a lot of people they carry around with them when they have the sanitizer. You know, I like to keep on the car with me. And things like that. And
So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wash this way so I don't touch the back and forth the handle a million times. Everyone who came out of the bathroom was touching.
yeah, no. Yeah, those they have to be careful.
Okay.
But Chal, by the way, in Iter Yad, someone who is a lefty, his left hand is his right hand. His right is chashuv because of its chivas of being stronger, and for him, his left hand is his right hand, so he has to makdim his left. Now, Sif Hey, bottom of page Vav. When a person gets up and walks, he should not. He should walk around with his head bent slightly. He should not stick out his neck as I. Like the pasuk says, the Yeshaya that the Navi is complaining and saying how they are walking around with outstretched necks and their eyes lie. As a lying. So, Philo Pachas Dal Amis, Osir. Even less than Dal Amis, you should not do this. Idea of Anivus. Kol Mahala B'Koim Eskufa, Ki'ilu Doichik Ragli Hashchina. Shemaloi Kalaretz Kvoidei, Hashem is everywhere. So what are you making yourself into being haughty? Shia Skifa, Kol Shalayuchul, Einav Lilis Samat V'Samach. Interesting. It gives a shear. How much is considered standing upright if you no longer could see the floor near your feet? If you are no longer where you are, be able to see the floor where your feet are, that's considered too much kindness.
How about if somebody tall? Not God, right?
So standing straight, but if you stand, your head bend, tilt up, not straight, but tilted upward, that's, okay.
Gava.
I don't know if it was the height, I have to do with the
Peanut butter, peanut butter.
V'tzarech machmazeh leilich machas. Shli koshol v'alichasei. Um, a person should walk slowly in order he shouldn't trip, stumble when he's walking. You should not bend over too much. You don't want either. We don't want you to when you bend down, we want you don't want you to walk quickly and then not to see like you're not looking all the way up ahead where you're going. Walk slowly.
How about
But in the Bainis, average. You should be able to see people, face the people that are approaching you.
It said you have to go slow. However,
Yeah.
you go to shul. Kagivo, you have to
Talking
walk.
about in the house
That's
right now.
different.
Yeah.
No, the now house doesn't necessarily mean slow.
No, that's Kanesha. You walk out.
This is in the house
Maybe
right
you
now.
mean
what you're talking about,
generally.
right?
You
Gently, gently.
calm.
Right, this what we're talking right now in the house.
Rushing
While he's
and
waking
banging
up.
into people.
Not on the street.
Yeah, even on the street.
Oh, he walks.
Yeah, come on.
You're right.
Some people, they walk around like you
Oh,
can
yeah?
see. Don't you see certain people looks like they holding themselves highly?
No, I don't look at him.
Yes,
My head is down.
yes,
Walking too proud, you say? Yeah, there was a guy, I used to know a guy in Florida. He walked with his head bowed down. He was such excited, this guy, unbelievable. Did the punches a kid, a young kid. But he walked like a little bit bent. But he was also excited, so you knew why he was walking that way.
All right. Yeah, very special.
Yeah.
Sivav midas chasido sheleilech dalat amis begilui haroish. Person shouldn't walk dalat amis without a yarmulke or covering. Gabi meim shoyv homi yagim leil chatam habi gilei haroish. This was even though in the time periods in history where most people would go around with uncovered, bareheaded, because it's very hot. Also, leilech, I feel leish begil aroshim sneers. Shmegalab sari hamachusa, shmegalab sari machusa. Like this. There is a concept of tznius, midas sidis, and then there's bechukuseim leiselechu. In an area where even non-Jews, no one covers, people don't cover the hair. People walk around bareheaded, most people. Wearing a yarmulke would only be a midas chasidus. However, if the locale where you are, people cover the hair, it's not respectful to walk around bareheaded, then it becomes not just a midas sidus, it becomes a concept of tznius. That's the way people dress.
Nowadays,
It's appropriate to cover them. They hear mitzad chinuch. Poshkim dinis elu. Definitely in our country. Shanofim nogul galis reishim. Se'elim kedoshim harim zeh mishum siyas. Geholich af yeshiv girash k'may nachri as a lot of chuksei misleichu. Here becomes something interesting. When only Yidden are doing it, and the Goyim don't do it, comes something else into play. That since Yidden didn't have to do it, Yisrael Kedoshim Haim, and they're careful to wear a yarmulke. And the Goyim don't wear a yarmulke. So when you don't wear a yarmulke, means now you're being a dama. The Goyim becomes more of a serious issue.
But now you have the issue of antisemitism. People afraid to go with yarmulke. You go in Manhattan, you can get them.
Yeah, what if
Okay, could be that there's heterim for different situations, but I'm just saying in general, where does it come from? Actually, Mitzad this inyan of not doing like the goyim, you could also put your hand on top of your head. If you don't have a yarmulke, to make a hecker, but that's not good enough for saying Shem Shemayim. Reason for this is because we say Ein Etzem Mechasel Etzem. Your hand cannot cover your head because you cannot cover over yourself. Your hand is also you.
Cover somebody else and somebody else.
It was famous a story that someone Tzedek, the Alter Rebbe asked his grandson, someone Tzedek, where is Zayda? Who is Zayda? Where is he? Is the hand Zayda, the nose, the head Zayda? Where is Zayda? Where is he? Which part of me? So he was very young, but he was smart. So the tzaddik went out of the room, and Al Rebbe turned away. He came back in. He said, "Zayda." So Al Rebbe turned to him. He said, "That's Zayda. That's Zayda." So
Smart.
every part of us is who we are. I'm sure there's no part of us is not who we are. There's no part of us that's less us. Any part of us is fully us. And there's no part where our essence is not there. We might have higher functioning in our face. Our face is our place, our panim, where we have all our most high functioning parts of our body. But it doesn't, but all parts of our body live and exist with equal life. And they're all alive with the nefesh going into every part of the body. So a person cannot hide, one part of the body cannot hide or the other because it's all him. It's not saying Shem Shemaim. By the way, when you say Hashem's name, you have a chiyuv to cover your hair. Our discussion here is not when you're mentioning Shem Shemaim. We're talking about always going with the Haboker. Less than Dalal Amis. Not to go more than Dalal Amis on the Haboker, that is not a concept of Mitzad Shem Shemaim. That's Bechlal. You're davening, you're wearing brachas like that, then it's mamash a chiyuv mitzad saying Hashem's name. One of the famous explanations of Chassidus that the Rebbe Rashab writes. This week was the Moledus of the Rebbe Rashab yesterday, right? Chop Cheshvan. And the Rebbe Rashab has a famous mimer that he said, "Year tough reish nun zayin," like 150, 130 years ago, 129 years ago. So he said this mimer Moscow, he died to Moscow, it was called Moscow. He died to hear Yom Shavos Levecha. A very Shmaka mimer explains the concept Hashem Hu Elokim. You find all the time in Psukim, we say Hashem Hu Elokim, we call out Hashem Hu Elokim by Eliyahu, the Har Carmel, and even Kippur Hashem Hu Elokim, and Shavos Levecha Ki Hashem Hu Elokim, no Hashem is Elokim. So what does this mean? So he talks about, and the Zohar says that Hashem Hu Elokim is a very important concept. So he explains over there that really Hashem refers to Hashem's midah of chesed. Elokim is Hashem's midas hadin. And really they're all one. What does it mean they're all one? At a very basic level explains that even though when he's acting midas hadin, he's withholding back. He's not revealing himself. Seemingly, I don't see him. But that's also his midah, explains the Rebbe Rashab. That is him. He did that. He's hiding himself. He has a power to reveal himself, and he has a power to hide himself. They're both him. One of them is a more geschmacker midah, which we like. The other one we don't like. But the midah, the koyach hahelem, is the same exact koyach that he has for Gilui. Hashem has a koyach of Gilui, as a koyach hahelem. So Hashem Hu Elokim because it's all him, and he can't hide over himself. This is his power. That's his power. And the example that he brings is from this din that Alter Rebbe over here refers you to in Siman Sadik Aleph, that you cannot cover over when it comes to mentioning Hashem's name. It's not going to help putting your hand on top of your head. That will work for the concept of Huseim Leiselechu. I want to show them I'm not just taking my yarmulke. I'm like a goy. I have my hand on you. See, I have a hand. So that works. For the concept mentioning Shem Hashem, that you taka need a real covering because in etzem mechas one part of yourself cannot cover over another part of yourself because that's you. You're you in every part of you. And your hand is you, and your head is you. So your hand is no less you than your head. So you're not covered.
Right.
So therefore, Alikim and Hashem are one. Hashem is here and Hashem is there because both of them are just as koyach. It's not him. Zapshat. Hashem is Giloi, and when he's Helam, it's not him. So Hashem is Giloi is his power, and Helam is his power, and he's there and everywhere.
Our father covered the head. Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Moshe.
I wasn't there. Do you have
In
any
the,
videos? Do you have any
in the
videos?
pictures of the
I don't
Chayzer,
know, I'm asking.
It looks like they were Steinler.
yeah, remember that? In the pictures in the Chayzer,
It
they have a
depends which
shrine.
Chayda you look in, which books, and
Yeah.
how they look.
For him is a tarbush. Piece of this,
Depends which
100
Chayzer you're going to.
100
That's the picture they gave you.
Maybe they looked a little more like the Arabs with they wore the yeah, they wore that tifas ishmaelim.
So probably the
It's
war.
probably in the desert. That's how they used to dress for the sand and for the reasons because the sand would blow into their eyes.
From the sun.
Sun, right? So you need to protect yourself somehow. So today, that's what they're doing there, right?
So then they don't do the Shem Shamayim because it's the sun. Now we're doing the Shem Shamayim and put kippah on the end. Because you're obligated to put kippah.
Siv Gimel Hanhogaz Beis Hakise Bo Yud Aleph Sifin. Vigam Kishi Yikonis Lebeis Hakise Yeit Sanua V'Leigala B'Sorei Kamash Tzorich. It's interesting. It's very uncommon to start off a new siman with a vav. A vav means avav hamechaber connects you to a previous idea, and it's hard, I don't recall a siman ever starting with a vav. V'gam, so like, well, that should be it's all together. A new siman of v'gam kishikanes lebeis hakisa yehetz nuah. V'yigala b'soy kamish tzara v'eis hatzoyrich v'leikoidem. Only how much you need and when you need. Leikoidem l'chen afila rega. L'chen le'yigala atzmei sheyeshiv. So you sit down. They didn't sit on a toilet seat. Leaned over. V'le'yiga yigala melachoidov kim tafach. V'lofanov tivchayim b'shum kiluach min ha'galayim anditis merachik. Chazal say, Yishmegala tefach, v'mechasa tivchayim.
So it's not like when you were a little kid, little boy, and you went to the bathroom, you dropped you
Drop the pants.
You dropped your pencil, like you should not do that.
We didn't learn Hilchos
Even if
coming
you're
from
in the
Haboker.
bathroom, but
Right. Good point. Good point. V'yesh garsim behepech. It's interesting. He's pointing out that some have a girsa that the opposite, in front of one, in the back two. Uveisha milfanea v'loi klum lachret tafach. Reitiv chayim. A woman in front, she does not need to reveal at all when she bends down. Lachret tafach reitiv chayim. Back, she should pull it down of tefach or two. The fee chiluf hagisoy is depending according to which girsa, whether it's one tefach or two. And the Yemaisi, you should time to come after. The Yemaisi, you do as much as you could.
Yeah, but nowadays,
Different.
bathroom has your own private. Not like it used to be some open. Everybody close. Close the door, you're inside by yourself.
Right?
So
Whatever,
why
whatever is
the wall is
necessary.
so much stepper
so
behind?
was this talking about when they a few hundred years ago,
Yeah.
300 years ago,
They were in the
right.
street.
No, let it go away to the side. You didn't do it,
This seems to be in private,
even in private. I'm afraid.
like a special outhouse or a room.
You'll see in a minute. Well, you can't stand al shem yachad. It's the base. Two people shouldn't go together into the bathroom. Close the door. No one should come in because they didn't have locks.
It's only
Close the door.
Gdolim, not for Ktanim. Ktanim, we have 10.
All right, okay, Ktanim. You're right. It's talking about Gedolim. Mefachel should be chidi. Nich acher yodei al roishei derech haloim.
Maybe a listing would come and install it.
What does this mean? Oh, a person should come in with him, but put his hand over his head.
He touches him, so he's showing you, he's giving him comfort.
Uh,
Showing him
maybe you're right. Someone through the window. You're right.
Not very right.
Achloi saper imoi. Should not talk to him. She misaper beisakis if shemslias. Shouldn't have discussions in the bathroom. Shemslias. The kachi miyavshal is gadelis. You can't close the door. V'ish acharet to the kanis. Someone else wants to come in. Yinoch ruzel lazeh. Lo yidaberu. Let's say you have a situation where you have a bathroom that you can't close the door. But you want to, so you hear someone's coming, you want to let them know that you're in there. Someone's here already. So instead of talking, grunt to him.
No.
Say one word, taken.
That kind of nashim, the word, once you say taken, they have a nice conversation over there. That kind of nashim, kishahoch zevesakisa kvul rabim, it's basically kisha v'sadim meim. Rather, how women are different. Women do talk to each other. If women went to a bathroom, a public bathroom, like they had bathrooms in the field in those days, or he didn't say, or like in our countries that we have in the courtyard of the shul, they had an outhouse. Women would go two together. By affiliation more than two, release a sapri zoom zoom, and they should talk to one another. Sham over there, that people outside will hear that they're in there. The ikonis ishel sham, no man should walk in on them over there. This yachid iman have yichud over there with them.
Also, like, for safety reasons.
Right.
Yeah, things haven't changed that much. That's still when we have women going.
Right. Yeah. So women had side they go with someone and side talk to each other. Not so long ago in history, people were using outhouses. It's not so long ago, and was probably still today in vast parts of the world. Possibly very large percentage of the society. You know, we live like in a bubble, but how do a lot of people live in Africa, in India, and in vast parts of China, which has a fifth of the world's population, and a lot of parts of Russia and different places in the world, things are not westernized. So there's a lot of different, people are still. Someone today, I daven with in shul. His family left Russia in the early 70s. He told me, he was in Russia. They had an outhouse. That's what they did. He's not so old. He's not too old. Well, it's 10. Maybe he's 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me, but that's what he remembers, that they had an outhouse. So that's what it was.
We had an outhouse in Israel, in Moshav.
In the Moshav?
Yeah, we had an outhouse. There was a bathroom, there was also an outhouse.
The bathroom was a public bathroom?
No. And
Every house had a bathroom?
they had a bathroom, but there still was an outhouse outside.
It was still there.
Middle of the night to go outside the house to Rubutka.
Right.
And it's a hole in the car.
Some camps they have it. They go to Boy Scouts and these type of places, and they have these something.
They have a plastic.
Plastic.
I don't know if that's white. Now you go to the airport, you see man bathroom, women bathroom, and family.
Are you allowed to write a men's bathroom or a ladies' bathroom?
According to the law, yeah.
For now.
Someone didn't make up their mind, so they could have a bathroom from neutral.
Something for the family bathroom.
But I remember I was visiting Russia. There still was a lot of things very backwards about a lot of these things, and they even remember going to an airport internal, not the international airport, but internal domestic
Domestic.
airports in the city. And the bathroom was you
A hole in the wall.
not much a hole in the ground, but it was no, it was in a building. It was in a building, but it was basically was some sort of
Ground
hole.
floor, the basement, it was
A hole, and then there was a wall, and the wall was like this height. So you sat and you were able to have a
cleaned,
Conversation.
with your
Clean
neighbor
booth.
right over here next to
little
you.
booths.
Yeah, so
The next Simon is about that.
yeah, so this
Just a
was
hole in the ground.
And next to
you
you,
had to
I mean.
squat. There was nothing to see.
yeah. So there was sometimes that there was squatting. Sometimes there was no squatting, but you still had this low wall. The concept that you're totally, today I was recently had to buy a new toilet seat, and I was looking on Amazon, and suddenly appeared what they call a smart toilet. I had no idea what this is before, huh?
Wash it for the-
And I seen that you can spend $1,500 on having a smart toilet, and
They have a
Laila,
Japanese
Laila.
toilet for like 10,000.
It even has heating.
They have a Japanese
You can
toilet
put on
for like
heating, the
10,000.
temperature.
When you come, the seat goes up.
Getting
It's warm.
up before you go.
Warm, and there's
In the winter.
music and the
Now I
water.
know why they don't leave
In
the
the middle of the
bathroom.
night, the
Once
water is
if you have a
lit.
smart toilet, people are not leaving. They're gonna stay there for a long time.
The teenagers can spend an hour. It says if you want to use the bathroom in the house and it's busy, shut off the internet. Yeah.
Oh, if you want anyone's attention.
Oh, they also say, if you want to see your kids, want to see your kids during the day, you can also like. To leave the room.
You know what's a guy you say an
And
artist?
the government wants to make free Wi-Fi everywhere, so we're gonna have a problem with all the teenagers.
Wi-Fi or not now, you don't need Wi-Fi. You're
Right now, we're waiting for the free buses. We heard there's gonna be free buses.
All right.
Alright.
Uncle Collector Bar.
Shakayach, everyone for joining.
150% vote for you.
Stephen,
Right. So he
Pinchas,
says,
Rabbi
you need
Davis.
to require.
Thank you,
Good to see
everybody.
you.
Good night.
No, moms will come in the back and they have a, see, it's 5 years, since COVID.